Good morning.
Hey everyone. Happy Monday.
Get more listings, powerful prospecting activities to generate listings in a low inventory market.
And really, this is actually a good topic for any market, not
Anytime.
just low inventory, but because we are in a low inventory market and having listings is king right now. I mean, if you can have 5, 6, 7, 8 listings versus 5 buyers, it's a lot easier to be on the listing side right now. So this is applicable in all markets, but even more timely right now.
Yeah, wow. Need listings. Need people to sell.
Yeah, so we thought this information would be helpful. I wouldn't say that there's anything super magical about any of it. It may be some things that you guys haven't thought of recently, or maybe you're not using in your business and you're like, that's right, I should be doing this. So various prospecting ideas, some of them, most of these are listing specific, but they can actually work on the buyer side as well. So just picking up clients in general, but hopefully we can get you guys some more listings.
Yeah, I just call it business building.
Business building.
This is your business. And we've got 12 tips. Hopefully you just walk away with minimum of one.
Just one that you can implement.
Help you in your business.
Yeah,
so
exactly. And this is going to be interactive. So if you have a question or a comment, please drop it in the comment section. We'll keep an eye on that. So maybe if there's something you want us to dive in a little more specifically, or just want to know some past experience that we've had with one of these ideas, shoot us a note in the comment section and we'll make sure we get to that question.
Great.
All right.
Lead it
So
off.
let's start with number 1. So number 1 is offering to provide a market update. So whether it's statistics or just area information to your friends, family, acquaintances, neighbors, people that you know, and giving them an unsolicited CMA, just so that they know what the market value is of their home. People have been watching the news and reading things, but maybe they don't know how much money they actually have in their house. So providing them with a market update and a CMA gives them that information.
How would you go about what we don't want is these are not passive things that we want you doing. And I see a lot of passiveness in this industry where people post on Facebook, hey, if you're interested in people don't respond to that. You actually got to reach out to them and say, hey, I'm sending you a market analysis to tell you what's going on in your on your home.
Yeah, you may not be looking to sell, but it's always nice. Most people want to know what their home is worth, whether they're going to be selling or not.
Yeah. So give me an example. What would you do? You call up one of our past clients or email them or text them. What would you say?
Yeah, so I put a lot of this into email. Oftentimes I'll have a conversation with a client and just, I saw something on Facebook, a major milestone in their life, and I just call to compliment or congratulate them on that. And then I'll say, hey, by the way, I'm going to send you a follow-up email with our current January statistics. And I'm also going to put together a general CMA on your home, just so you know where the value is. Prices have gone up a lot. Keep an eye out for that. If you have any questions or you know someone else who needs my help buying or selling, I'd love for you to think of me. And I send off that email. And I use RPR.
I was just going to say, how would you do it?
generate my
RPR.
CMA.
Yeah.
And when I put that CMA together, I'm not spending 2 hours doing it like I would for a normal seller who actually physically wants to put their market or their home on the market today. I'm doing kind of a large overview. Yes, a large overview saying, obviously your home may have some different upgrades and amenities, but this is an approximate range of where your home would fall if you decided to list it for sale.
And then follow up. After you've sent it out, maybe follow up a week later. Hey, and I would do a phone call.
Yeah. Was this information helpful?
And you're doing 2 things here. Maybe they're kind of thinking about selling. Maybe it's in the back of their mind they were going to do something. But you're also just showing them that you're in the business again. You're staying in touch with them. You're showing your professionalism because maybe they've never seen a market analysis from you. Like they went on to Zillow and saw some quick Zediment and are like, well, that, I don't know where they came up with those numbers. And you gave them this really cool RPR report and they're like, wow, Terry is really professional. It's a good opportunity for you to establish credibility and then work that referral basis.
Yeah, because you never know. They may say, we're not looking to sell right now, but actually this is great information because we're kind of setting ourselves up for retirement. And in 2 years, we'd like to do this, 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 and this. And it just allows you to start creating that pathway for them. Or maybe they have a son or a daughter who's going to want to buy a house. Or maybe they heard that the neighbor down the street is going to be looking to sell. And this just triggers that for them. Oh, I think, John and Sally down the street could really benefit from one of these because I hear in 6 months they're going to get relocated. So it just opens the door for conversation.
And establishing your credibility.
Yeah.
I don't think we do enough of that as agents to show our credibility and our professionalism until it's like we're working with them. But if you're not working with people, it's a good time to show them that you're professional, credible, you're in the business.
And that you
friends,
like to
family.
stay in touch even when they don't necessarily need you for buying and selling. That you aren't just there, to pounce and to hop on when they need you and when they reach out, that you're actually being proactive and reaching out to them first. So that's tip number 1.
Send CMAs.
Send CMAs.
Don't rely on, what is it, HomeBot or something where
The automatic email.
That's really cool, but that's passive.
Yeah.
You need to be talking, emailing, texting, conversation, not just letting the system work and hoping somebody calls you someday. It's not their job to call you, it's your job to call them.
Exactly. So try this one.
Yeah.
Pick a couple of people out of your database this week and do 3 CMAs, unsolicited CMAs.
And if you don't know how to use RPR, great opportunity to go learn how to do it.
They have a ton of classes and a really great help desk. Lots of tutorial videos. So tip number 2 for lead generation for listings is to reach out to out-of-town landlords that have rentals. Maybe they're thinking about selling, or maybe they want to sell that property and move their money through a 1031 exchange into another market or into another area. You can have title companies pull this report, and I believe you can actually do it yourself on Realist. You can search non-owner occupied properties, and it will give you the mailing address for the owner where their tax bill goes, and that's usually a pretty accurate indication of how to get a hold of them. So a letter, a postcard, sometimes you can find phone numbers for these people, but doing a CMA and sending it. So if someone lives in another state and they don't realize how crazy Colorado has been and that their home has $150,000 worth of equity, having a CMA might just spur them on to want to put that property on the market.
I like that idea. That's it. And we're going to get questions. Someone say, well, where should I do it in an area that you're familiar with?
Yeah. Do it in your own neighborhood. You probably know which houses have tenants in them and which ones are owner occupied, and then look those property addresses up and send out something.
And again, back to maybe they're not interested in buying, or maybe they're interested in buying more.
Yeah.
Of course, we want more listings, but maybe you'll pick up a buyer because this investor is like, hey, I'm doing great with my rental. Do you know of any more? Well, you're not solving the listing issue yet, but it's business. It's business building.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, there are a lot of investors that over time they say, I'm kind of tired of being a landlord and I just want to liquidate. And you being at the right place at the right time, this could lead to that. So tip number 3 is go through your database and make a list of people that you know that are in the following categories: attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors. Oftentimes those people, if they don't already have a realtor that they know and trust, you might be able to network in a referral system with them. They tend to know what's going on in people's lives before realtors know what's going on in people's lives. Because if you're tax planning with your accountant, or you're strategizing with your financial planner, they may hear you say, we're looking to sell in the next 6 months. How is this going to affect our finances? And then if they have a partnership with you, they can give you a heads up. Hey, get in touch with so-and-so. They need some real estate advice.
If you don't have a CPA or you don't have a financial planner, here's a great reason to go meet someone. And you can check out our vendor list. I think too often people believe that a CPA, attorney, investor, helper already have their network of people. I'm like, oh, they don't want to work. Don't let those things stop you.
Yeah.
Go meet people if they're on our vendor list or whatever, because most agents already are thinking, They already know someone, so no one ever says, hey, if you needed someone to help a client of yours, do you have a realtor that you refer them to? Mm-hmm. There's a very high probability they're like, no, I don't have, well, you're on the equity vendor list and we give you leads all the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I've never had anyone say, I'd like to be your realtor. Or they might say, you know what, I'd like to have another one. I'd like to be able to fit them with different types of personalities, and I do have several clients, and then you have an opportunity to go have coffee or lunch and get to know people, and again, building your sphere of influence.
Exactly. So estate attorneys are really great. Divorce attorneys are really great. I actually had an estate attorney that I networked with 7 or 8 years ago, was very diligent in making sure that I really demonstrated my market knowledge. I actually got a referral from her a year ago, and she knows hundreds of realtors, but she says, you've always been so good at staying in touch and doing a great job of showing your expertise. I think this is a client that would fit really, really well with you. And that was just an out of the blue, wasn't really anything that I had been cultivating anymore, but people remember you based upon your character and what you do on a day-to-day basis. So,
and by you staying in touch. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've got to put them on your mailings, your newsletter, your Facebook group. I mean, you got to let people know you're in the business. You don't want to be someone who's only pops up now and then and like, oh, that's right, you're still... No, you need to be front and center. This is who I am. This is what I do. And you need to do it consistently.
Yeah. And remember, you're not always going to be everybody's number one, but if you could be their number 2, number 3, you're just on their list. Maybe they have 7 or 8 realtors that they like to use. Can I get on that list? Because if I get a referral from you once every year or once every other year, that's still one extra client that you wouldn't normally have. So
number 3, CPAs, attorneys,
investment advisors, insurance agents. All right. So number 4, this is an easy one. Do an open house. Do an open house.
And I know they're hard to find because properties sell so quickly. You could search the MLS for listings that have been on the market for a little longer than 3 days.
Yeah.
We have them in the company. There's offices that have them throughout Denver. You can actually hold an open house for another company, another agent. Make sure that your name and your logo and everything is on your stuff. But you can actually hold open houses for other people. I used to hold open houses for a gal that had a builder client. I ended up getting the builder a year later because their relationship fell apart and I had been doing open houses for a different company. You can do that, but you got to work at it. You gotta look for the open house opportunities, whether it's in our office, outside of our office, and you got to do a really good job so that agent will call you again. So if Stacey had an open house opportunity for you, or I did, and you did an open house for us, and you showed up on time, and you put out a ton of signs, and you had a nice little sign-in register, and you made sure the house was locked up and the lights were, turned off, and you called us and said, this is what happened. We had this many people, so that we can contact the seller and let them know how the open house went. Of course, they're your clients if you meet anyone that doesn't have an agent, but keeping us in the loop of how it went. Because
if you are a listing agent and have a seller, 3 minutes after the open house is done, they send you a text, how'd it go? And you're like, I don't know, I haven't heard. And so if I can provide them a recap of what you did on my behalf at the open house, that makes me feel really good. It makes my seller think that we're an amazing team. And I'm likely going to call you direct when I have a new listing coming up and say, hey, I'm putting this on the market on a Thursday. Do you want to hold it open Friday evening, Saturday, and we're going to accept offers till Sunday? You can hold it open Sunday too if you want. And I'm likely going to go straight to you versus advertising it out to anyone else.
So yeah, you got to work at getting them, and then you got to work hard to keep the open houses and then be in that network of, hey, you're a top agent who does a great job, great work, great open houses. I want you to help represent me and my client.
Yeah. And oftentimes we think, open houses are a waste of time. I never connect with people. They always just kind of want to do their own thing. And I feel like they come in, come out, and I never really get anything from it. I don't know how many open houses we've done
a ton.
Where a neighbor walks in and they say, oh, I'm just the neighbor down the street. And most agents are like, you're not a buyer. I'm not going to pay any attention to you. But you ask a few questions and you engage and you find out they're looking to put their house on the market in the next 3 to 4 months. And they just kind of wanted to see what this one was worth so they can kind of figure out what the value of their home might be worth. And then you find out they don't have a realtor. And then you're sitting at their kitchen table a couple hours after your open house talking pricing and strategy. I mean, you can pick up so many listings through open houses.
Yeah, it's a great way to build your business. We have in our YouTube channel, I think it's an hour-long video on how to do open houses.
On how to do an open house. Yep.
So yeah, check that out if you haven't done an open house or you need to brush up.
Yeah, and then I think on Elevate, I still have our open house tips handbook, and it's like 15, 16 pages on actually how to do an open house. So if you think it's a matter of putting up signs and turning on lights, it's more than that. So
yes.
Look at that handbook. It's under the how-to section in Elevate under the training tab. So anything else on open houses that you want to talk about?
That's good.
Okay, awesome. So I'll let you look at questions, and then I'm going to dive into tip number 5. When you list a property, and I'm also going to tell those of you that don't have a listing how to do this. When you list a property, advertise it to move up neighborhoods, as well as the neighborhood that the listing is in, with a just listed postcard. If you don't have a listing, you can ask another equity agent if you're allowed, can I advertise your listing out to my sphere? And as long as you have permission, then you can advertise a property out. So the purpose of doing the just listed postcard is typically when a sign pops up in a neighborhood, another sign is going to pop up within a couple of weeks within a couple of streets. So you want to advertise that out. So if they don't have a realtor, they might reach out to you. Advertising it to a move up neighborhood, you might end up getting a family who bought their first home 7 or 8 years ago. They're busting at the seams and they want to move up into a larger property. And they see your postcard and say, hey, this looks nice. We need to sell and we need to buy. So that's the strategy behind those just listed postcards, and 2 different avenues you can go down.
And we had mentioned this in our sales meeting last week. When you get a listing, yes, I know that they sell easily. That does not mean you back off on the marketing and promotion. There is nothing more exciting, I don't think, than putting your name in the front of somebody's home with a for sale sign. You put I'm even seeing agents not even going that far anymore. They're just putting the sign up there. Make sure you have your name on the
get those
sign.
riders made with your name and phone number if you don't already have a custom sign.
But there's nothing more exciting than someone hiring you, saying, I trust you, and you put that sign up in the front yard. Mm-hmm. It's exhilarating. Knock it out of the park when you get that listing so that you can make this thing snowball. And I remember years ago when I first started the business, I would take out top agents to lunch and ask them, what do you do? How are you building your business? Do you farm? Do you send out mass emails or mass emails? We didn't even do mass emails back then. Do you do postcards or advertising in the magazines? And they said, when you get a listing, it's like your name is in lights. You're on the boardwalk of everything. Your name is up because all the neighbors are driving past your name and your sign every day. If you just send out a mass mailing to a neighborhood and they've never seen your name, there's no listings in there, that's just wasted paper. But you put a sign in front of someone's yard and your name, you've already validated that you're somebody. Mm-hmm. Somebody has trusted you with selling their home. Now you do the just listed postcard to the neighborhood. You invite them to the open house. Don't let them feel like, oh, I don't want to go see the open house. I don't want to be the nosy neighbor. No, be the nosy neighbor.
Come on in.
I want to meet you because I want to get another listing in the neighborhood because it always happens. You put up a listing in a neighborhood and you're going to see other signs start popping up. You want those signs to be your signs.
Yeah, so, and we always, when we did open houses, would do the 5x5x5 rule, which is for open houses. You go knock on the doors, 5 houses to the left, 5 houses to the right, and 5 houses across the street, and you invite those neighbors to your open house.
Yeah. So if you have a listing right now, make sure you're getting your name out to everyone that you have that so you can make that snowball and get another one. There's nothing better than putting your name in front of someone's house. It's the best way to show that someone's hired you.
Yeah, you have inventory.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, tip number 6 is be an expert in the marketplace. And I think we were kind of demonstrating that with doing the CMAs for friends and family when they don't even ask for them. But creating videos or blog posts, something where you go out and demonstrate your knowledge of the market. Maybe you review the market stats and do a weekly market update on what's going on. Maybe you pick a specific neighborhood each week or each month, and you go out and you video yourself in the park talking about the neighborhood and why people like living there. Maybe you talk about some of the top reasons why people migrate to a specific area, restaurants, attractions, hiking, whatever. Or maybe you want to just do a quick broadcast on why now is a good time to sell. It's a seller's market. So being that knowledgeable expert and then sharing that information on a consistent basis through Facebook, through social media, through your newsletter, through direct email is a really good idea.
It's a great idea. And consistently. That's really a key. So you need a plan. And those that have taken Buffini know that he has like a plan for the year. What are your two big events? A plan for the quarter, a plan for the month, a plan for the week, a plan for the day. You should wake up knowing what you're supposed to be doing. And if you don't wake up every day knowing what you're supposed to be doing in this business, then you need to take some more classes or just sit down with yourself, and you've got a lot of ideas. You've gone to a ton of classes. You're listening to this. You have other resources. It's not a lack of knowledge or information. It's a lack of sitting down with yourself and going, what am I going to do? What is my plan? And just start small. Start simple.
Yeah. But people really like these videos.
They love them.
Most are fearful that they're going to mess up and they don't have the right content and I don't know how to do it. So people watch this stuff because you're one in a million that are actually doing it. So it's a way to set yourself apart.
So see what other people are doing and then imitate.
Yeah.
Do what they're doing. And remember that the first ones that they did were not as good as the ones you're watching now.
Yes.
And we have agents that are wonderful on Facebook, and it's so fun to see where they're at now
versus
and
when
how
they started.
Easy they are with talking or videoing, and it compared to where they were in the beginning, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Start now, you'll get better, and no one cares. People just want to hear. They're your friends and family and your social networks. So it's not like they're going to be there critiquing. They're going to be going, wow, maybe I should do something like that in my business or in my world or whatever. So yeah, give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. Tip number 7 is partner with a local business and send a coupon to your sphere of influence. And a lot of people have probably heard of, what can I think of? The name of the company. I was wanting to say Bomb, but it's not Bomb. I'll think of the name. It's
we'll think of it.
Postcard where you
post it if you know who it is.
Yeah, where you collaborate. Boomerang. It's Boomerang. You collaborate with a vendor outside of real estate. So a restaurant, maybe someone who owns their own retail shop. It's all small individual owned entrepreneurs, and you send out a coupon and co-brand. Now, you don't have to use Boomerang, but you can actually work together and create a marketing piece with someone that you know that's maybe a small business that wants to put their information, and so they send it to their sphere, which broadcasts you send it to your sphere, which broadcasts them and you, and it's just a great way. You guys can do drawings, you could do a free drink at something. It's just a neat way to get people engaged, and I found through social media, a lot of my clients, when I would send them these things, they'd actually take a picture and post it on social media and say, my realtor's better than yours. This is what I got in the mail. So it was just a really fun thing to do with people.
Thanks, Paul. Yes, Boomerang.
Boomerang.
we all thought of it at the same time.
So yeah, look up Boomerang. It'll give you some ideas. Another tip, host a networking group. And I know I probably got some, networking groups. They work. They work, and especially when you're the leader and the one that stirs the drink, the straw that stirs the drink. Put together a bunch of people that are within real estate, that are outside of real estate. Maybe it's a painter, a plumber, a furnace guy. Maybe it is a hairstylist, a nail tech. I mean, it doesn't matter who it is. Just make sure you've got a variety of people. Get together over lunch, get together over coffee, talk about how you can help each other build businesses and share referrals. That's all it is.
I got nothing to add to that. It's networking.
It's networking.
Yeah.
And it works.
And it works. Yeah. But you got to be doing something that you're interested in. So if you're creating it, obviously you're going to be interested in it. If you're going to join it, it's got to be a group or an activity that you're interested in.
Yeah. Number 9 is work out of state or out of area referrals. I don't know about you guys, but I see a lot on our internal equity Facebook page, people saying, do you know a realtor in Longmont? Do you know a realtor in Pueblo? Do you know a realtor in Colorado Springs? Network with other equity agents, other agents outside of the area that you work, and even attending events and conventions. NAR gives you an opportunity to get referrals from people that have clients moving to an area that you live and work that they don't necessarily know well. So there's so much room for growth in your business by just networking with other agents and other communities.
Yeah, and you can start in state. I mean, Colorado's huge. Network with people in Grand Junction. Network with people down in Pueblo. You're not going to do a transaction in Pueblo.
No.
You might not even do one in Colorado Springs. Make sure you know the Colorado Springs people down there.
Because when they have a client that wants to move to Broomfield, they're probably not going to drive up to Broomfield.
Yeah.
And they're going to want to refer it out to someone that they know and trust.
But the easiest way to get in front of other people from within our state is being part of the realtor community. There are so many events and things going on inside the realtor community that'd be the easiest way to go network and get to know people.
Yeah. And then you'll oftentimes see posts out there. Does an equity agent know someone in Iowa? Does an equity agent know someone in Florida? And there's a chance that you have networked with the right people that's going to make your name pop up. So It's just part of that spider web. Do you want to take tip number 10?
Host a housewarming party for your clients after closing. So
Fun.
we've got so many buyers. Maybe you haven't had a listing, but you've had buyers. Ask to host a party for them. I mean, that is so much fun, and it doesn't have to be crazy. You can say, hey, let's just keep this to 10 or 15 of your closest friends, and I'd like to cater a lunch, a dinner. Don't worry about it. I'll bring the food. I'll bring some cocktails, and I'm not going to be salesman-y. I just want to be able to meet your friends because I've had so much fun working with you, and we have gotten along that I'd like to thank you for your business. Have an opportunity for your friends to come see our home because that's always a tough thing to do. It's like everyone wants to see our house, but we have a hard time inviting people or following through with it. So I will do it all. I'll send out the invites and everything. Tell me, how you want to proceed and how I can contact the people. And, you can do this for, a few $100s, and it could be a really fun evening. Our financial advisor does this. This is how he has solely built his business by referral and by having great events at people's homes. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's not like he's hammering everyone, hey, I'm in personal finance. No, he's just a person chit-chatting, and in any situation, everyone says, what do you do? What do you do? And so it comes out, and then you have the database that you can follow up and say, hey, it was great meeting you at, John and Sam's house the other day, and if you ever need anything, I'd love to be your realtor.
Yeah.
The Buffini-ish. But host a party.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to come to a party?
We've got some agents that are great at this.
Really, really good. And it works well. So that's why we throw it out there today. Tip number 11 for lead generation is join a hobby or a class or a sport. Pick up something new where you can go meet new people. Get involved.
Get involved. And again, it's kind of like the network. This is more of a hobby, though, a thing that you enjoy. I mean, we've got people that are big into pickleball. Mm-hmm. We have tennis, golf, your church, a charity. Stacey and I were really involved with CASA for years, Advocates for Children. And the purpose of us getting involved with them wasn't to get more business, but our business is everywhere. Mm-hmm. Okay, wherever we're at, we are doing business because we're meeting people who are like-minded, and we want to make sure that if they ever needed a realtor, that they were taken care of, and who better to work with than us. So it's just make sure you're involved in something that you care about, and that the number one thing is it's enjoyable to you, and that you're giving back or you're getting what you need from it. And then let people know what you do. It's that simple. Let people know what you do and that you like to help them.
Yeah, and a lot of our business came during a long period of time from his cycling. He'd be out on a bike ride and real estate would come up, and all of a sudden here we are going to coffee to talk about helping someone list their home. And it was just really fun to have that, I don't know, that integration of work and play. Like we had something in common with a hobby, and it's like, first let's go ride our bikes and then we'll talk work. And so it just, our priorities all aligned really well, and we got to work with some really, really fun people without it feeling like work. And that was great.
And now many of them work for us.
I know. And now we have so many cycling realtors at Equity.
And they're doing the same thing that we did when we were selling.
Yeah.
They're working with their clientele. And I know you guys, whatever hobby you're in, or just make sure people know what you do.
Yeah.
And that you're willing to help them. Don't be the agent that's hiding and not sharing that they're excited about their industry, they're excited to help others, and that they're here as a resource. And I think a lot of agents have a difficulty thinking that they're being salesmen by letting people know what they do. I think you're doing a disservice by not letting people know what you do. And that's always been my belief. I think that Stacey and I are a couple of the best realtors out there when we're helping people buy and sell. And if I didn't let them know that I was a realtor and they went and met someone else, I would be doing them a disservice, because, oh my gosh, I could have helped you. And we have this connection, and I would have looked after you and made sure. You have to have that same feeling about you and your business, that, man, if they went with someone else, they'd be missing out. They didn't get to work with me, and I didn't get to work with them. And that'd be a loss for both of us.
Yeah. So that's a great segue into our final tip for today, and that is ask for referrals. Talk to the people that you know and tell them, hey, the real estate market is insane right now, as you've probably heard. Inventory is lower than it has ever been. January was the lowest inventory January on record since 1985. Do you know anyone who's thinking about selling? If so, I would love an introduction. That's it.
That's it.
I hope this information has been helpful for you guys.
I know you guys are looking for, here's the one.
The silver bullet that's going to get
work.
you 20 listings. Yeah. No, it's hard work.
It's hard work.
It's a lot of effort, and it's being proactive, not being passive.
Yeah. But it's simple. These are simple things. They're hard to actually implement, because you have to kind of step outside yourself, step outside the box, and be, out there.
Yeah. Ask
any of our agents, if you're a new agent who hasn't sold a house yet, ask anyone that's sold one house. That was a hard transaction. Mm-hmm. It was hard getting that client. Ask our agents that are selling 30 homes a year. It's a hard business, but it's a fun business, and you just got to get out and kind of push through. The thing you didn't hear us tell you to do was go buy leads. Mm-mm. Go buy
bus benches. Go buy shopping cart.
No, you didn't hear that, because that's not building a business. The things that we talked about were building a business. If you could just buy a lead, this would be a simple business. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. And trust us, we've tried it. We have spent a ton of money and tried every single thing there is out there. And these 12 ideas and anything you learn through Buffini or Ninja, building a network, building a sphere, having relationships is the key to longevity in this career. Yeah. Anything outside of that, you're subject to somebody else giving you something, or you paying for that thing. And when someone decides they decide to raise the fees or change their business model
or turn the faucet off, you got nothing.
That's not business building. This is business building, and you guys can do this. And most of you already do this. Maybe there's a few tips and you're like, that's right, I forgot about that. So anyway.
So get out there, do 3 CMAs for people this week. Try and find an open house. Start a networking group.
Plan your day.
Create a video.
Plan your day.
And tag us in your social media posts so we can watch what you're doing.
Because we like watching you guys. Yeah, there's some great stuff. And watch others, because they're doing some great things out there.
All right. Awesome. Have a great week.
See ya.
We'll see you next Monday.